Picture this: a young boy selling water on the dusty streets of Lagos, Nigeria, dreaming of building an empire. Today, that same boy is worth nearly $14 billion. How did he do it? Stay tuned to discover the incredible stories of Africa's wealthiest individuals who transformed their dreams into billions. These aren't just stories of wealth. They're masterclasses in business innovation, perseverance, and strategic thinking that anyone can learn from. Many people think Africa is just a continent of poverty and challenges. But did you know that the combined wealth of just 10 individuals in Africa equals the GDP of several small European countries? Have you ever wondered what secrets these billionaires hold? What makes African billionaires different from their counterparts in other parts of the world? The answers might surprise you, as these individuals have redefined what's possible in African business. Let's start with the richest man in Africa, Aliko Dangote. Remember that boy selling water? That was him. But here's what's fascinating. While most billionaires made their fortune in tech or oil, Dangote built his empire on something we use every day: cement. Can you believe that something as basic as cement could create Africa's biggest fortune? What's even more remarkable is how he did it. Dangote identified a crucial gap in Nigeria's market. The country was importing most of its cement despite having abundant limestone deposits. He strategically built manufacturing plants closer to limestone deposits than any competitor, reducing transportation costs significantly. Today, his cement company produces 45.6 million metric tons annually and operates in 10 African countries. The lesson? Sometimes the biggest opportunities are hiding in plain sight. Speaking of unexpected success stories, meet Johan Rupert, our second richest African billionaire. While everyone was chasing the next big tech innovation, Rupert was building his fortune in luxury goods. From Cartier watches to Montblanc pens, his company Richemont knows exactly what the world's wealthy want. But here's a question that might surprise you. How did a South African businessman become one of the world's leading luxury goods moguls when most luxury brands come from Europe? The answer lies in his father's tobacco business. Johan transformed it into a luxury goods empire by understanding that premium products would always have a market, regardless of economic conditions. Here's something fascinating. During the 2008 financial crisis, when most businesses were struggling, Richemont's sales actually increased in certain markets. Now, let me tell you something that might shock you about our third billionaire, Nassef Sawiris. While most people think African wealth comes from natural resources, Sawiris built his fortune by thinking globally. Did you know he owns a significant stake in Adidas, the same company that makes those sneakers you might be wearing right now? But his story goes deeper. Sawiris transformed his family's construction business, Orascom Construction, into a multinational powerhouse. He's particularly known for his impeccable timing in investments, buying assets when they're undervalued and selling them at their peak. What would you do if you had the chance to invest in a global brand like that? His strategy teaches us that sometimes the best opportunities lie beyond our borders. Here's where it gets really interesting. Nicky Oppenheimer, our fourth billionaire, actually sold his family's century-old diamond business De Beers to start something new. Imagine having the courage to sell a diamond empire that your grandfather built. What would make someone take such a bold step? The answer might surprise you. He believed in diversification and reinvention. After selling De Beers for $5.1 billion in 2012, he created Fireblade Aviation and invested in various ventures across Africa. His story teaches us that sometimes letting go of the past is necessary for future growth. Today, his private equity firm focuses on identifying promising African businesses, helping create the next generation of success stories. Let me share a funny story about our fifth billionaire, Mike Adenuga. He worked as a taxi driver while studying in New York. Today, He owns Nigeria's second-largest telecom company. Talk about an upgrade from driving other people around to helping millions of people communicate. But here's what's truly remarkable. Adenuga built his fortune in 3 entirely different industries: banking, oil, and telecommunications. His Globacom telecommunications company now serves over 55 million customers across West Africa. Have you ever wondered how many taxi drivers might be future billionaires in the making? His story shows that humble beginnings often contain the seeds of future success. Now, here's something that will make you think. Abdul Samad Rabiu, our 6th billionaire, built his fortune during Nigeria's most challenging economic times. When others saw crisis, he saw opportunity. It's like making lemonade when life gives you lemons, except his lemonade is worth 5.9 billion. His company, BUA Group, started by importing rice, sugar, and edible oils, but he noticed something crucial. Nigeria was spending billions importing steel. This led him to establish Nigeria's largest steel mill. What opportunities might be hiding in today's challenges? His success proves that economic downturns can be the perfect time to build an empire if you have the right vision. The Sawiris family makes another appearance with Nassef Sawiris, our 7th billionaire. Here's a man who built telecom networks in North Korea when everyone else thought it was impossible. Would you have the courage to do business in one of the world's most isolated countries? His company, Orascom Telecom, has operated in several challenging markets that other companies avoided. This strategy of entering difficult markets with less competition has proved incredibly successful. Sometimes, the biggest rewards come from taking calculated risks that others won't. Mohammed Mansour's story, our 8th billionaire, is particularly inspiring. His family lost everything during Egypt's nationalization period in the 1960s, forcing them to start from scratch. Today, his company sells Caterpillar equipment across several countries and operates one of the largest GM distributorships globally. What's remarkable is how he diversified into logistics, real estate, and retail. Have you ever thought about how losing everything might actually be the beginning of something greater? His story teaches us that resilience and adaptability are perhaps the most valuable business skills of all. Patrice Motsepe, our 9th billionaire, became the first Black African on the Forbes list. But here's what's truly remarkable. He made his money by buying old, unwanted gold mines and making them profitable again. His company, African Rainbow Minerals, succeeded by implementing new technologies and better labor practices in these abandoned mines. Who would have thought that others' cast-offs could become such golden opportunities? His success demonstrates that innovation isn't always about creating something new. Sometimes, it's about improving what already exists. Finally, meet Koos Becker, our 10th billionaire. Here's something that'll make you smile. He took no salary for 15 years while building his company, Naspers. Instead, he opted for stock options. People thought he was crazy, but those stock options made him a billionaire. Would you have the patience to work for 15 years without a salary? Under his leadership, Naspers transformed from a traditional media company into a global internet and technology investor. His most famous investment, a $32 million stake in Chinese internet company Tencent, which later became worth over $175 billion. Sometimes, the biggest rewards come to those who can delay gratification. These stories challenge everything we think we know about building wealth in Africa. They show us that billion-dollar fortunes can be built from cement, luxury goods, telecommunications, and even old mines. But more importantly, they teach us that success doesn't always come from inventing something new. Sometimes it comes from doing something existing in a better way. So, the next time someone tells you that Africa is just a continent of challenges, remember these 10 individuals who saw opportunities where others saw obstacles. They prove that with vision, persistence, and sometimes a bit of courage to be different, anything is possible. Their stories remind us that great business success often comes from solving real problems and serving real needs in society. What opportunities did you see in your environment that others might be missing? Could you be the next African billionaire with a story that inspires the world? Remember, every empire starts with a single step. The real question isn't whether opportunities exist. It's whether you have the vision to see them and the courage to pursue them.